Hello, everybody, it's The Worm, and I'm back with Raging Loop. Last time was, well, kind of, the big one. It was the huge fight between our boy Haruaki and Hashimoto. We were always going to be in the crosshairs on this one, and of course we came under great scrutiny. Luckily, we were able to navigate through that whole confrontation. Of course, it wasn't just that we were able to navigate through it. It required a bit of... It required both Haruaki's skill and Kaori's, what would I call it? Her, what word? Willfulness. Her, her one desire to end it all, and to fulfill what she had to in order to see herself and her sons die. She was willing to go that extra mile there. And, well, it worked out. There was a back and forth throughout the whole thing, with Hashimoto getting a good argument in first. Haruaki purposely let him talk first so that he would be able to counter him. And so it came down to an argument where essentially the humans would try to either delay the... it was either we would hold the vote to win or lose right this feast, or delay it until next feast, in the hope that the humans would get extra information by the time they get to that next feast. I think that was the argument that Hashimoto put forward, and that was, he wanted to do that by first, but he wanted to just hang Haruaki. Haruaki then turned the argument around and said, "Hey, look at the numbers. If you believe that I am the snake, then if you look at the numbers, we're basically in a tie right now, and if you get rid of me and don't go for a confirmed wolf right this instance, it's going to be over." And that seemed to get people on his side, but then Hashimoto invoked what I was referring to as the nuclear option last time, which is to say, hey, we can't trust Haruaki, and so we shouldn't do Kaori, but if we don't want to do Haruaki either, we can always just hang Mako, who is the badger. And and that went into Haruaki's argument about the number of votes, because his argument was Mako would vote with the wolves because of she was the badger, and Hashimoto didn't incorporate that into his own argument. So yes, so the nuclear option here was to just hang Mako, because then even if she's not a wolf, you will be denying the wolves a vote. But, as I said, Kaori really stepped up, and she seems to have acted out and attempted to try and kill Yoshitsugu, or at least act like she was going to do so, which caused the rest of the group to turn on her. And that leaves us wolves in a pretty good position, because the crow is going to confirm what Kaori is, or was, and thus Haruaki should get... he'll get his cover. He'll be confirmed as the fake snake. And Hashimoto's going to be... Well, he said he was 70% sure that Haruaki was a wolf. And I'm pretty sure he's not gonna lose all his suspicion. Maybe he'll go down to 30% or something, but we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. Yoshitsugu is obviously going to be... Well, if he was super angry at Yasunaga's death, I would expect him to be emotionless, you know? Just utterly wrecked and unable to handle it. So, you know, I guess it is a question of whether or not he's going to be able to even talk to us tomorrow. So, you know, we'll just have to wait and see. That's pretty much the big summary for what happened last time. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much it. There was the one bit where Haruaki said he may not be able to fulfill Kaori's wish just yet. So, and that goes into tactics here. It may not be good to go straight after the crow immediately after this. So, yeah. Let's continue the aftermath here of what happened. Without its owner, the dining hall had become an extremely empty place. It felt like its soul had left this world, or like its mind was elsewhere. It was noon, yet no one had eaten anything. No one had eaten anything yet. I volunteered to make something, but Kinosuke-shi said that they couldn't trust me yet, so I refrained. The one who picked up the responsibility was Hashimoto-san. He could cook too? As it turned out, not really. He'd just made some plain vegetables boiled with some basic seasonings. It wasn't anything delicious. He wasn't perfect. He was simply a human who was a bit more fearsome than the rest. We couldn't leave the dining hall for the whole day. Yoshitsugu-kun wanted to be alone, but the poor guy wasn't even granted that. With the state he was in, everyone was worried that he'd pull something, so they didn't make an exception even for him.
なんであんな小煩悩なお母さんが息子殺しなんてできるの?
Interestingly, Mochi didn't really play as big a part in the last feast as I thought he might. It looks like he didn't decide to go ahead and tell everyone what he thinks. Now again, he never had any evidence to back it up, but I'm sure he could have thrown he could have been a spanner in the works, you know? I'm sure he could have, adding fuel to the fire by joining in with Hashimoto and saying he's suspicious of Haruaki, you know? But he chose not to do that, so I'm a bit curious what his plan is now. She said that when he went to the bathroom. It was an extremely normal question from a normal person. If Chiemi was alive, she'd have probably said something like, "No one can resist God." I could now vaguely understand those words. The thing binding the people of Yasumizu. The thing lying dormant within Haru-chan. It felt like it was closer than ever, just beyond the mist. Of course, no one answered Mamiya-san's question. There was something I wanted to ask Mochi. It wasn't something I could ask in public, though, and I didn't get a chance to have a secret chat with him.
まだ君を警戒している人がいるから、まっすぐ家に戻ったと、僕が証言しよう。
Do you think he wanted to talk to Mochi about Haru? Or maybe he wanted to ask what I was just wondering about, why he didn't speak up more in the feast. When it was time to call it a day, he put some pressure on me.
警戒してるのはあなたでしょ?
さあ、どうかな。いろんな心配が全部無駄だったら、どんなにいいことだろうね。
I agreed with him on that. He was right about a lot of things. However, he couldn't leverage it well. And this was despite his persuasiveness and connections. Why did he lose? One of the reasons was underestimating the madness controlling Yasumizu and the unity the wolves shared. And another reason was my ability to cheat, death looping. Looking back at it, I'd made it this far despite failing to kill Yasunaga-kun once. I couldn't have cleared this game in one go if I didn't have the ability to use trial and error. Even so, the end was near. Dusk.
殺すのは
橋本雄大だ。
We found the opportunity to kill him, and we took it. The process was the same as always. We used the nearby farming tools to cut, stab, and crush him thoroughly. I wanted a more effective method, honestly. That was probably why Yasunaga-kun killed Takumi-san with a gun the first time around. However, I didn't want the method to give me away, and I wanted to prevent any dying messages like the one Chiemi had falsified in that previous loop. Making an absolute mess of the body seemed like the most reasonable method. Was that thought born of madness? Of course it was. It was pure insanity. I ran circles in my mind to try and keep it stable enough to make at least somewhat rational decisions. Tearing apart the mountain of flesh was extremely hard work. Once done with that, Haru-chan and I went back. Our discussion for what we'd do tomorrow was simple. Yoshitsugu-kun would use his crow powers to prove that Kaori-san was a wolf. That would prove that I was the real snake. We'd hang a random somebody tomorrow, and use the night to finally get rid of the crow. The day after tomorrow, there'd be 6 people left. With the badger on our side, we'd have 3 votes.
メイクは本当に無事なの?
Well, it would be quite something if after all this time she wasn't.
多分ね。実際は狼だって明かしたところでちゃんと裏切ってくれるか怪しいけど。なんであいつ僕を目の敵にしてんのかな。
Yeah, why is she indeed?
乙女心じゃない？
は？
なんでもない。まあ、多分大丈夫だと思うけど。それでも万全の備えをするならメイコに頼りたくないよね。
うん。その通り。その場合、植松里香子か野里清之助をくくって夜に。
モッチーを殺すのね。
大丈夫かい？
もう慣れた。私も変わったな。人殺しに慣れちゃった。もう普通の人生は送れないかな。
I would assume not.
罪を償ってうんぬんって道もある。君は未成年だし。
I'm not sure that's necessarily the point, but okay.
春秋は死刑なんじゃない？
どうかな。まあ、やむを得ない殺人とは認めてもらえない気がするけど。
それなら逃げようよ。
Get on a plane and go to where? I don't know. America.
昨日そんな話をしてたね。
どうせ罪はそんなに変わらないよ。
どうかな。
どうなってもまた会えるよね。ごめん、言い直す。どうなっても一緒にいるから。
Is that your expression there, is that you, God? Who's talking to me right now? She was making less and less sense to me.
僕に惚れたとか言い出すなよ。かっこ悪いから。
We're pretty sure she can mimic the god, can mimic Haru when she wants to, right? Gotta be careful.
それは言い出さない。かっこ悪いから。
Huh. Wow. I'd set her on the path of evil. Scolding her for something now was extremely uncool.
うざったかったらしないよ。
別に。好きにすればいいよ。それが悪の特権。
じゃあ好きにする。
ああ。
キスを教えて。
いきなりあいつが出てこないなら。
身持ちのお堅いお方でやらせられるの。
はい。ダメ。
ケチ。
We parted ways. It was all smooth sailing from here. Okay, you say that, game, and the fact that you said it makes me think it's not smooth sailing from here. Yudai Hashimoto was dead, and Kaori-san, the most problematic wolf, ended up leaving the stage in the best of ways. All that was left was some throwaway feasts. I thought we were on a roll. And soon discovered how naive I was. Of course, of course. See, now this makes me think. Makes me wonder again. It's how aware is Haru? You know, see here? Like, what's the deal? I guess we'll never hear, we'll never get the precise knowledge of where Haru ends and the god begins, but, it seems like it's a bit closer than maybe I thought. Okay, yeah, we're continuing on.
Hashimotoさん。
Oopsie daisy. Strangely enough, Mamiya-san didn't lose her composure upon seeing the pile of gore Hashimoto-san was reduced to. She stood frozen in place and her voice was shaking, but that was it. If you heard the connecting noise just now, that was me, not you. Okay. The image of a woman trying to bear the shock and pain was both beautiful and moving. It seemed disingenuous to say that, considering I was the one responsible for her suffering, but I couldn't help how I felt. However, what she did next sent a chill down my spine. She ignored Hashimoto-san's body, and walked over to the shirt Hashimoto-san had left lying in the corner of the hut. She moved the shirt to the side, exposing a camera. Yeah, this is not unexpected, actually. If we recall, during WIT, Hashimoto-san was the first to go, presumably because of corruption. And Mamiya, in that instance, also immediately went to find the camera. It's not going to be something like he set up a camera and we just missed it. Is that what's going to happen here? That would be quite something. Exposing a camera. Were we recorded? Had he planned this with Mamiya-san ahead of time? I hadn't taken any precautions against that. While dismantling the body, we'd even talk to each other. She skillfully manipulated the camera. Did I have to destroy it now? No, I'd have no excuses for that. The charade would be over. Maybe Maybe we could try going wild like Chiemi and Mochi did. What was the point of that? I had to survive. If I went wild by myself, Haru-chan would... Again, what would be the point of that? She was just a girl you'd find anywhere. She got into a different situation, accepted a different reality, and learned from it just like anyone would. Even though it was hardly a normal form of growth, it was charming and beautiful to us men. That much was obvious, but was it worth protecting with my own life? That question had to be answered with a no. However, I turned around and looked at Haru-chan standing at the end of the group. She had a knife in her hand. I had slightly shook my head. After a moment of hesitation, she returned it back to the murder scene. It was a foldable knife, covered in blood belonging to Hashimoto-san. I'd picked it up and used it when we were dismantling the body. No, that didn't mean anything to us. If I hadn't turned around, Haru-chan would have surely went wild on her own. She was obviously going to protect me like that, even if it meant getting herself hanged. Oh man. I really liked that, but... Okay, I'd finally found the theoretical justification for scolding her properly. Up until this point, I'd still thought it important to consider what I'd do with her after the feast was over. I'd felt responsible for promoting her growth and making sure the evil girl blossomed properly. In the end, though, the emergency before us was no emergency at all.
ダメか。
定点撮影ですか？大胆ですね。何か映ってました？
何も。ただ、遺体が延々と映ってるだけ。
She threw the camera to me. I checked, and apparently, it was a 2-hour-long record, starting at 9 in the evening. The Wolves' work started at 10. Hashimoto-san was as sharp as always. He even got the time right. I played the footage back, and just like she said, it just showed a body. It was supposed to show him alive at the start, and then show us in wolf suits come in at about 10 and start committing the murder. However, the video only showed a mountain of flesh and bone, lit up by the electric light. Was the time within which the wolves worked cut out from the rest of the world? Control through sleep, transformation through the real story, mist, corruption, death loops, and digital video problems. One of these things is not like the others. Was all this connected to God? In this timeline, I'd gained a bunch of important info that brought me closer to the truth. That gave me a bad feeling, though. What if the truth and the subject of fear were one and the same? What if I never reached the truth? A limitless mystery meant limitless fear.
おふくろは
Okay. Yeah, let's start this. Let's not have a really short episode today. Tell us, Yoshitsugu. You have to.
狼
He was able to do it. Gotta give him props for that. Everyone reacted with relief or surprise. Yoshitsugu-kun and I had reached the same conclusion. He seemed like the real thing, and it was hard to believe both of us were wolves. That meant that I'd told the truth, making me the real snake.
今日も狼を見つけました。
Who are you gonna say? Are you gonna say Kinosuke or Rokako?
野里清之助氏は狼です。
Oof. Sorry, Kyo. It's your time. Thus, my lies would work.
そんなバカな。私は人だ。なるほど、そういうことか。妻子春明。貴様がやはり狼だったのだな。
The revelation comes too late for you, Kyo. And that was why his overreaction seemed like the pathetic struggling of a wolf. All that was left for me to do was lie until the end.
僕は嘘は言ってない。
ああ、こいつは本当のことを言ってた。
The only place where resistance can come... Well, no, that's not true. I was about to say the only place I would expect an upset to come from would be Mochi. But to be fair, Rikako has shown her hidden depths before. And even Mamiya has shown that she can be quick on the uptake. So, we're not necessarily out of the woods yet. Mochi, Rikako, or Mamiya could say something that throws us off.
そうか。貴様、自分が生き残るために仲間の狼を切り捨てたのだな。リカコさん、あなたは狼ではないのでしょう。
ええ。
間宮女子、あなただって。
私はね。
They both looked at each other with suspicion. There were only 2 wolves left, Kinosuke-shi and someone besides themselves.
まあ、野里さんの疑いもそりゃわかるけれどね。残り6人、狼は多分2人で、ムジナが1人。狼をくくらなきゃおしまい。相変わらず究極の選択で、手がかりはこれ見よがしな蛇のケージのみ。そして昨日亡くなったのが久石君に敵対的だった橋本さん。
僕と橋本さんは敵対してたわけじゃありませんよ。合理的に考えれば僕に疑うべきところがあっただけです。事実、昨日は彼も最終的には香織さんに投票されています。
それは彼女の言動から確実かつ迅速に排除すべきが彼女だと判断せざるを得なかったからでしょ。彼は最後まであなたに対しては警戒を怠るなと言っていたわ。香織さんにしたってあなたが仲間である彼女に命じて自滅的な行動を取らせたという可能性もあるでしょ。
間宮さんは僕や橋本さんと同じく人間ってものはそう簡単には狂わないってスタンスだと思ってました。
これだけ実例見せられたらもう十分よ。あなたについては最初からどういう人となりだったかも知らないしね。あなたが平然と彼女にそういう命令ができるほど狂ってて、彼女がそれを受け入れるほど狂ってた可能性はある。そしてもしそうなら私たちは見事に騙されることになる。
Yeah, Mamiya's definitely not giving up without a fight here.
もうたくさんだ。もうたくさんですよ。何をやっても疑われるのは。
当たり前だ。貴様は偽物なのだから。
あなたこそが人の偽物でしょうが。僕とあなたは同類だ。信用もない人望もない、どこまでも異端分子。
おお、どっちが勝つかな。
貴様、近持ち。
私は久石さんを信じるよ。私のことを人だって言ってるし。
そっか、僕はハッサンは超怪しいと思うな。勘だけど。
I mean, if we're talking votes right now, I think Haruaki's actually in a pretty bad position. He's gonna vote Haruaki. If Mochi follows through on this, he would vote for Haruaki. Mamiya would vote for Haruaki. Meiko would probably vote for Haruaki. That's 4 right there. All 4 of the remaining would have to vote for Kyo, and then that's a tie. So, I mean, this is not that good of a position to be in right now.
間宮女子は彼を信じないということで良いのかね。
She was conflicted, obviously.
リカ子さん、あなたは。
私は狼が狼をほふったとは考えづらいです。
いやしかし、私から見ればそれが起きたと考えるしか。
狼は親子3匹、その間にも特別な絆がありましょう。私たちが霧を恐れ宴を敬い休みずのためにくくられることを是とするように、狼の方も他の狼を利しかばい守ることを是とするはずです。
That may have been the original intent.
それならなおさら香織さんが犠牲的精神でああやったのかも。
違うっつんだよ。おふくろは狼にされて兄貴も殺さねえとなんねえで、それで狂っちまったんだよ。ただそれだけだ。それ以上の悪どいことなんて考えてね
え。That was probably how I'd have been if I were a local. Perhaps Kaori-san might have been thinking something like that too. She died because of a bargain, her giving up on life, and my sinister plotting. If Rokako-san was right, and there was some sort of bond between the wolves, it didn't apply to us outsiders. Chami had proven that last time, when she'd cruelly used an outsider wolf as a sacrifice. Anyway, now that I had Rokako-san's and Yoshitsugu-kun's voice, I couldn't lose now. I had no idea what Mochi would do, but he could easily vote as we wanted him to... Sorry. I had no idea what Mochi would do, but he could easily vote as we wanted him to, despite knowing it was a mistake. There was no need to worry.
メイコちゃん、どっちに投票する？
おじちゃん、狼？
Oh. Is she asking Kyo? Kyo, are you going to use... If you were smart... No, if... I was going to say if you were smart... No. Hang on, let's see.
違うと言っているだろう。
Okay.
お兄ちゃんは人よね。
僕は猿だ。つまり人だ。
お姉ちゃん。
私も人です。
ふざゆきさん。
僕は人なんだ。君は狼の味方をしたいのかもしれないけど、だったら僕は君の味方にはなれない。
メイコ、お願い、目を覚まして。
お姉ちゃん嫌い。
Mako was actually kind of manageable. Okay, yeah, let's keep going. We continued to argue for a while, but no one provided anything decisive. Noon came, and everyone became even hungrier and exhausted. Even so, no one said that we should vote because it was clear to us all that the results would be inconclusive. If it continued like this, no one would be hanged, human or wolf. That would mean their defeat. But anyone who suggested that we not vote would be considered a wolf. Thus, the only one who suggested that we end it was Mako, but only because she was hungry. Time passed by, and we didn't get anywhere.
お腹すいた。
何度目だよガキ。
もうあまり時間がありません。
Who's gonna be the swing vote? What's gonna happen?
片付けのことも考えると、もう 宴をしまわないとまずいです。それで人を任す気なの？くくれなければ同じです。
間宮さん、頼みます。あなたが信じてくれれば。
もうどうすればいいの？
Whose will will be broken first?
僕もいい加減疲れてきたな。なんでみんな票取んないの？
わからぬ者は黙っていろ。
おっちゃんには期待してないもん。ハッサン、なんで？
僕に投票したいであろう人と野里さんに投票したいであろう人が数が同じだからさ。
Yep. That's what I said before.
むむ。ヨッシーとハルちゃんとリッちゃんとハッサンがおっちゃんに投票。ふむふむ。あ、じゃあ僕がおっちゃんに投票すれば解決すんじゃないか。早く言ってよ、も
う。There we go. We have our swing vote.
待て、それは人の敗北につながる道だ。
まあどうせ負けるんならパッパと負けようよ。いいんじゃない？狼が勝ってもさ。
鴨志田様、猿の加護者がおっしゃることではありません。
しょうがないよ。僕は桔梗の
そっくりだ。
Him?
え？
Kinoskishi's quiet, sad voice drew everyone's attention, not just Mochi's.
お前はそっくりだよ。先々先代、お前の高祖父殿に。
Wow, suddenly getting the Mochi lore here.
どういうことです？
野里家は長者では3番目の序列。1位の身車、2位の樋口とは格も資産も大きく及ばない。家業たる本草学、医術の知識にしても変遷する時代の中で次第に意味を失ってきたものだ。それでも我々が長者家として今も流らえているのは、我々がカラスの精神を持って勉学と研究に励んだからだ。
カラスの精神？
爪を食ろうては技を盗み、目を食ろうては文を盗み、舌を食ろうてはことを盗むべし。そう不死吉に捧ぐるがカラスの志なり。精神なんて最近の言葉だから間違いだってパパは言ってたぜ、おっちゃん。
揚げ足を。とにかく屍を食い知識を盗むような真似をしてでも勉学に励み里に献身すべしとの教えだ。
不死吉？富士吉の米？
Oh, snap. More wordplay.
今なんか関係あんのかよそれ。
失礼したわ。
我々は西洋医学にも機械にも技術にも多岐に先んじて学び励むことで生き延びた。
ご立派です。植松とは大違いで。
伝統の重荷ばかりを負わされたあなた方には申し訳なく思っています。とにかくそのようになりふり構わず学ぶ姿勢が我々を生きながらえさせたが、一度その屋台骨が崩れかけたことがあった。それが先々先代の時だった。あれは狂っていた。同時にずば抜けた俊英ではあった。
Does sound familiar.
積極的に村の外に出ては 常人には理解の及ばぬ投資や起業を繰り返し、大戦をも正気として蓄財を重ねていった。しかしその後、全ての証文や権利書をどこぞに放棄し、かねてより用意していた安水の屋敷に引きこもったのだ。
You mean the mansion you're in right now?
火の車に陥った本家を尻目に、奴はここで晩年にわたるまで長者の意向によって人倫にもとる振る舞いを指導した。私が知っているのは最晩年の先々先代だが、思いつきで動物を大量に殺して楽しんでいた。お前そっくりだ。
おお。
だからこそお前は拝着されたのだ。先々先代の再来、野里家に、ひいては藤吉に最悪をもたらすと思われてな。そして今もこうしてこの場をいい加減な言説で煙に巻こうとしている貴様など一票担うに値せんよ。
言うけど、カラスの志がおっちゃんのどこにあるのかな。よそかぶれで藤吉をバカにして、安水をもっとバカにして、別にちゃんと働くでもなくさ。
Oof. It's a lot of, You're beating him down with quite a lot there, Mochi.
僕だってみんなのために黙ってることだってあるんだよ。
Oh, how I wanted him to shut up right now.
ハッサン。
ああ、
僕、おっちゃんに票入れるから。安心して投票に移りなよ。
待って、本当にこれでいいの？
うるせえな。てめえも結局てめえで思ってるだけのことをずっと心配してるだけだろうがよ。
もう時間がありません。
これから票を取ります。
クソがー。
Poor Kyo. Always kinda yelling from the sidelines and until he gets taken out. I mean, he made it last time, but that was kind of a narrow thing even in and of itself. These were the results. Hisako Mamiya, Kinosuke Minasato, and Meiko voted for Haruaki Fusaishi. While Yoshitsugu Oribe, Haru Makashima, Rokaku Uematsu, Chikamochi Kamoshida, and Haruaki Fusaishi voted for Kinosuke Minasato. 5 against 3. It was more difficult than I'd expected, but it was decided that Kinosuke no Satoshi would be hanged. Though he didn't struggle much, Kinosuke muttered things under his breath the whole time. He was probably cursing me. How pathetic. I wanted to get this over with as soon as possible. I really did.
ハッサンが噛みつかれたらいけないから、僕がおっちゃん突き落とそっかな。ワクワク。
貴様。
鴨志田様、私が。
おっちゃんを喜ばすことないのに。
野里様、こんなことになり残念です。
リカ子さんは私が狼だと本気で信じておられるのでしょう
な。はい、そうでなければ人をくくるなどいたしません。
いいでしょう。あなたもいずれ真実を知り絶望することになる。
Yeah, that's not a scene I'm looking forward to be perfectly honest.
その時のお気持ちを思えば申し訳なくこそ思え、腹が立とうはずもありません。いっそリカ子さんが狼ならあなたを生かすためと胸を張って死ねますものを。これだと あなたの命を1日か2日長らえるだけの盾にしかなれそうにない。
申し訳ありません。汚れも病毒も引き取れるものならいくらでも引き取りますものを。
リカ子さん、あなたはもっと自分の心と体を大事にしなきゃいけませんよ。私はただ好きで、自分の勝手で自分の死に意味を見出したいだけなのですから。
Can't be completely honest at the end, huh?
妻子春秋、一つだけ言っておこう。貴様の非道は早晩露呈する。勝つか負けるかは知らん。しかし悪党なら悪党なりの矜持を持って女性を泣かすような真似はこれ以上したもうな。
最後ですので勘違いを解いて差し上げます。リカ子さんとの間には何もありません。
ええ、そうですね。
あとご承知の通り僕は狼ではありません。
いよいよ傑作だ。狼は銃を持ってるとかじゃなかったかね。苦しみは一瞬だ。ぜひお願いしたいところだがね。
あなたの迫真の演技には称賛を送るべきかもしれませんが、正直もうたくさんだ。
私も貴様の顔を見るのはたくさんだ。
結構です。
とっとと消えろよ。
言われずとも。
よろしいですか。
リカ子さん、下がってください。
しかし
下がって。自分でやれますのでね。
She backed off. 'Until the very end, he was so pitiful. No, so human. He jumped, fell, and, with a pathetic-sounding cry, he stopped breathing. Everyone separately whispered, "Rise not," and left the graveyard. Things were going as always, until the moment.
そうだわ。
She said that.
いろいろあってすっかり忘れてた。芹沢さんが自殺した銃、あれを探すって話は？
Everyone froze.
一番危惧すべきは、狼が銃と弾丸を持ち帰ったということだと思うんです。実在が不確かな銃を必要以上に恐れるのもどうかとは思うんですが、それでもこの後、各自の部屋をざっとでも見て回る必要があると思います。
それで見つかるように隠すかは怪しいけど、どう思います？
探す姿勢を見せることが大事です。
やろう。構わねえ。
During the second feast after Chiemi had died, we talked about where the gun may have went. But after we hanged the old wolf guy, everyone had forgotten about that. I was actually curious about it too. Honestly, if I had to guess, I'd say that Greylord Shinai cleaned it up, just like he did with the wolf outfit. But it'd be bad for us if Mochi or someone else got their hands on it. I'd gotten this far. I really didn't want to die to a goddamn gunshot right before the finish line.
そうですね。放置しても危険です。生死に関わらず、全員の住居を改める方がいいでしょう。
Oh man, what curveball is the game about to throw at me here?
てめえらのどっちかから出てくるわけだよな。
一応言っておくけど、狼が持ち去ったかどうかは不明だからね。そして私から見ればあなただって疑いがゼロじゃない。
分かった。悪かったよ。やめようぜ。無駄なそういうのは。
いいわ。でも時間はないのよね。
僕と吉次君とモッチーで協力すれば、橋本さんの遺体の片付けは早く終わるでしょう。
It's interesting to me that no one has commented on the, apocalyptic-looking red mist that we are surrounded in. But it is what it is.
ざっとでも全部回った方がいい。足りなきゃ明日もう一度回ればいいです。
Does it always look like this? Just at night when the sun's going down? Is it just how this always is? Maybe.
そうですね。時間は余るでしょうから。
なんなら男子の住居を優先的に調べられますか？
うわ、エッチ。
こんな時にふざけんなかもしら。俺は構わねえ。見つかって困るもんは何一つねえから。
それはなんかやだ。男は男で調べてよ。女は女で調べるし。
こんな時だから本当は全体でやるのがいいんでしょうけど、ひとまずはそれでいいかしら。わかりました。まずは私たちで女性のお部屋と遺品を改めましょ
う。わかりました。それじゃあ僕らは。
はい。心苦しいですが、どうかお願いいたします。
The cleanup was unexpectedly easy. Of course it was. We'd cut him up into smaller pieces to make it easy. After 4 trips of putting his remains on the door and carrying it to Saranaga, all of him was in there. We also threw in the bloody futon and the cloths we used to wipe. After we washed our hands, we were done, so we went to join the girls in searching for the gun. They were all in the dorm. Haru-chan's room. Their faces were completely frozen. What had happened? After a moment, I realized. No way. A mistake. A mistake? Like this? Mamiya-san was holding a new, dark flashlight.
ごく新しいものね。海外メーカー製。作りもしっかりしてる。5000円くらいかしら。
Yeah, we totally did give her that flashlight, didn't we? Yeah, we did that. Hmm.
電池はまだある。買った時についてたと思しき電池のままで、これも海外製。物意味の夜にこんなものがなぜ必要なのか。
Well, I think. Why would anyone need that? I mean, couldn't she just say she had this before? Like, a friend of hers got it from school. They go to school in Fujiyoshi, right? Like, just say, hey, one time, think on your feet. You could come up with something, right? It's not a question of need, it's just say, oh, it was just already here. I don't know. I'm scrambling to think on my feet too here. Hisako's Mamiya's face was soon warped by a look of victorious, decisive rage.
お小遣いも満足にもらえない彼女がどうしてこんなものを持てたのか。
It was a gift. She found it. I don't know. Well, it was new, so I don't know. She stole it. She stole it from someone at school. She's evil now, so she totally would steal. Just something. Come on, guys. I looked and noticed that Rokako Uematsu's face was full of contempt and mercy.
外でこれを買って彼女に与えられたのが誰だったのか。
Haru Makishima's face was pale with fear, despair, and realization of her failure. Okay, yeah, I guess she's a bit stunned, so maybe we can't really think on our feet right now.
久石春明、牧島春、弁明はあるかしら。
I mean, technically, we kill someone tonight, right? I mean, if we can get it, I mean, we don't even technically have to get out of this with them believing we're innocent. We just have to survive and, you know, like get away from them. And then when night comes, we kill someone. And then, you know, with Mako, it's a bit of a toss-up on what's going to happen with her. But presuming she's truly the Badger and was able to, you know, act like the Badger is supposed to act, then once we've killed someone tonight, tomorrow, we're in the clear. So we just have to not get, I don't know. I think we're still good. It's just, you know, it'll be a bit uncomfortable. I had to think. There had to be something. Haru-chan's face might have said it all. But I had to be able to explain it and let us both get through this. There had to... Crap. All the lies I can think of now would only let one of us survive. Me. Oh well. It'd be pretty forced, but I had to turn the flashlight into a personal gift from me to her. She'd said she'd like SF movies, and I happened to have 2 flashlights, so I gave her one. It completely ignored the foundation that stated everyone would know about it if we talked about it at night. But I could force this and make them believe. A few seconds passed, but I was still in the safe zone.
それは
黙れ。
Okay. Of course. We don't get the time. I blacked out for a moment and fell to the floor. A dull impact slammed in my face just now.
何をするのですか。
こいつにこれ以上喋らせるな。
Of course I wasn't in the safe zone. The Feast of the Yomi Purge was a game of communication, but it didn't forbid violence. Some got the upper hand by communicating using only words, while those who couldn't would naturally try getting their point across through other means. I'd underestimated that fact. Yoshitsugu Oribe's violence quickly neutralized me. Head, back, arms, the leg, still hurting from the sprain. Chair, sticks, he used whatever he could get his hands on and beat me senseless. I couldn't resist in any meaningful way. He was well trained and had the motivation, bloodlust, to go with the violence. It continued until Rokako-san brought a rope. My consciousness was faint, but I hadn't lost it yet. By the end, I'd just meekly begged for him to stop. I might have even cried, but I was shown no mercy. Wow, just a hard cut to the music and sound there. Bit of an awkward time to stop, it feels like, but I think we're gonna have to stop here. Yeah, that was definitely a mistake on our part. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Haru was obviously stunned and wasn't able to think of a lie in time. And then, unfortunately, Haruaki's pretty quick thinking, but he didn't get a chance to. Yeah. The only way out of this now, it goes back to the end of Wit. Remember? There was the idea that, well, the wolves, as long as they're still alive, might still be able to get out of whatever way they're tied up. It's why Haruaki wanted to torture them and break their limbs, right? So, I mean, technically, as long as the wolves are alive and we're still able to move, it's not over, I don't think, but Haruaki definitely took a pummeling here. For some reason, I have this thought that Yoshitsugu wouldn't want to hit Haru, and so maybe Haruaki got a double beating just from him. I don't know. Yeah, this was... yeah, there was a lot here. Next time, we will have to try and somehow get through this. We'll have to see what state Haruaki's actually in, and whether or not it's even possible. Maybe Haru's going to be able to do it by herself. I don't know. Yeah, if we could just somehow make it till tomorrow alive, then... well, as long as we can make it to somehow... as long as we could somehow make it tomorrow and kill someone tonight... we could actually be in the clear, but yeah. Good callback to the flashlight, though. That was good. I had forgotten about that. All right. I've been The Worm. This has been Raging Loop. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.